You don't have anything to prove. You don't need to prove any point. Take the feedback. Determine if you are going to let it define you or develop you. So you must resist that urge to become defensive. Welcome back, everybody. Always an honor to have you with me on the Empowerment of Purpose podcast. Thank you so much for joining in today. Thank you for your time. You are never taken for granted. I thank you for being part of our community. We are looking at the subject title of the feedback factor, and this is going to be the second part. This is going to be part two of our title, the feedback factor. In the first episode, we discovered that feedback is an important mirror that you and I must look into from time to time so that we can begin to have and gain insight into our actions and attitude. We also learned why it is so powerful that we must take this action and be intentional about it. We're going to wrap up the series with this second part to the same topic, the feedback factor. And we are going to be looking at, as a subtitle on this episode, the difference between destructive feedback and constructive feedback. You see, because it is very important. We are talking about feedback and how important it is that we should allow ourselves to be given feedback, that we should be humble enough to receive feedback, that we should search, faithfully and discover those who are well positioned to, give us feedback into our actions and attitude so that our talents and our skills can be made manifested accordingly and our purpose will be greatly empowered. So we want to sort of balance the equation here. We're looking at what is the difference between destructive and constructive feedback, because not all feedback is delivered perfectly. I think we sort of hint on that in part one as well. Not all feedback is delivered perfectly. Some feedback may be inaccurate. Yes, some feedback may be inaccurate. And so you and I must be matured enough to be able to distinguish and differentiate between a very accurate feedback and an inaccurate one. Some feedback may also be poorly communicated. Yet, this is another thing that I'm going to say to you, and it's so important. Even the imperfect feedback, can contain some valuable insight. So, remember, we talked about blind spot in the first episode. Blind spots are areas that you cannot see by yourself, for yourself, through yourself. Blind spot area, even in imperfect situations, some insights, valuable insights, can still be found in such situations. Wisdom is going to help us separate our emotions from information. And this is key. Ability to separate your emotions from information. Because if and when information is being passed on to you, and all you could do is allow your emotion to rule over you, then something is wrong in that area. But wisdom will help us to separate our emotions from information. best practice always is ask yourself, even if the feedback seems to be imperfect, ask yourself, is there any truth in what is being said? Perhaps there is. If there is, the favor you will do yourself is acknowledge that truth. Just acknowledge that truth. Is there truth in it? If there is, what can I learn from that truth? What can I learn from it? Remember, it's been delivered under an imperfect circumstance. What can I learn from it? What adjustment should I make from such feedback? You see, as stated with a subtitle, some feedback can be destructive. Destructive in the sense that instead of adding to you, it will take from you. It will make you look, and think less of yourself. It would do everything. Destructive feedback would do everything to pull you down and make you give up. Give up on your dream, give up on your goals, give up on your ambition. Because it is designed to be destructive, you now begin to question yourself and doubt yourself and say to yourself that you're not good enough, that this is not you. Nobody wants to hear from you. Nobody wants you in this position. Nobody is benefiting from the message, and so on and so on. You see yourself as not good enough. That's the destructive aspect of the feedback. But that's not the part you want. Remember, like I said, even in the imperfect situation, even with it being destructive, it still has some insight, some things that you can and should work on. What adjustment should I make? You see, growth belongs to those who are willing to learn. So, destructive feedback, even though it's designed to pull you down, constructive feedback, on the other hand, is not going to condemn you, is going to encourage you, offer you alternatives, give you suggested verbiage and pitch, and just helps you navigate your way from the not so good presentation into a very good presentation. And so that's what will make the difference. To be constructive, because it's going to construct you, it's going to build you, it's going to add onto you. And so here's the responsibility that you and I have. Our responsibility, your responsibility, my responsibility is that we must use feedback to empower ourselves. Yes, feedback is an empowerment. Feedback is an empowerment. Empowered people do not allow feedback to define them. This is so important. So whether it is destructive, and especially in situations where it is destructive, if you allow feedback to empower you, you will not let it define you. You not letting it define you means you're not going to give up as a result of that destructive criticism or destructive feedback. Empowered people will not allow feedback to define them. They would allow feedback instead to develop them. Yeah, great difference. Great difference. Define or develop. You have to make a choice. You have to read between the lines. You have to pick your choice. You have to make a good decision. Am I going to allow this feedback to define me, or will I allow it to develop me? And so the question is, what must you do with feedback? As we round up with this second episode of the feedback factor, what must you do with feedback? What should you do with it when it's handed to you? Whether it is destructive or it is constructive, what are you expected to do with it? When feedback is being handed over to you, when you are receiving feedback, number one, make sure you listen carefully. A lot of people are listening, but they are not hearing. Listen and listen attentively. Watch closely. Listen attentively. Watch closely. Okay? Very important. Number two, always make sure that you resist the urge to become defensive. Yes, this is very important, friends. When you are receiving feedback, resist the urge to become defensive. You don't have anything to prove. You don't need to prove any point. Take the feedback. Determine if you are going to let it define you or develop you. So you must resist that urge to become defensive, because the moment you become defensive, the one that is giving feedback, especially if it's coming from the place of constructive, you're going to shut them down. Yeah, you will shut them down, and you will not be doing yourself a lot of favor by doing that. Number three, when you are being handed feedback, when feedback is being delivered to you or being handed to you, you must reflect sincerely. No self-justification. Let your reflection on the feedback be sincere. Yeah, this is so important, friends. So important. Number four, when you are receiving feedback, you must identify actionable lessons. What lessons can I actualize right now? What lesson can I actionize? What action can I put in place? What can I go to work with immediately? What can I go to work with on my next task? What can I go to work with on my next project? Identify those actionable lessons. Is it your next speech, next presentation? Identify your actionable lessons. Number five, and the final point, make sure you begin to make necessary adjustments. Yes, that's why I said, what can I begin to work with immediately? Make necessary adjustment. You see, excellence, you must realize, is a journey. It is not perfection. Excellence is the commitment, your commitment to continuous growth. Growth is not just one journey. is not a dash, it's continuous. And so if you are going to become excellent in whatever it is you find you're doing, feedback is a mirror that provides you insight into that continuous growth. Every successful athlete receives performance review and they embrace it. Performance review. Are you a speaker? Are you an entertainer? Are you a project manager? Whatever you are you in the corporate, in your career? Are you in ministry, marketplace, ministry, whatever area, even at home? Just like successful athletes, you must be willing to receive and review your performance. After each speech, after each performance, do you watch yourself back even before someone call you and give you feedback? What areas of opportunity can you identify from your last presentation so that such area of opportunity you will address it in your next presentation? Successful athletes, remember, they receives and reviews their performance consistently. Every effective leader, listen to me, always seek counsel. They seek counsel. Counseling from mentors, counseling from other great leaders, counseling from those who had gone ahead. You can't be a lone ranger. No, you need other people. We all need each other. And that's why to be an effective leader, anyone can be a leader, but to be an effective one, you must be willing to take counsel. Every thriving organization evaluates their results. When you fail to evaluate your results, there's no room for improvement. Growth is impeded. That will not be your portion or my portion in Jesus' name. Have you ever had a time when you evaluate yourself? Put this into action, because you see, people who fulfill their purpose remain committed to learning and improving. That includes evaluating and grading yourself. You must find time to grade yourself, even when no one is grading you. Now, let me say this as I begin to close. Understand that small adjustments made consistently will always create extraordinary results over time. Yes, not that you want to make extraordinary adjustments in one go. No, it is when you begin to make small adjustments on a consistent basis, that's what will help you create extraordinary results over time. Getting up there, I'm talking about the top of the ladder of success, is not always the only thing that matters. But staying up there is more important than getting up there. Let me say it again. To climb the ladder of success, your aim should not just be getting up there. Your aim ought to be, when you get up there, how do I stay up and consistently stay up? And that's why you must consider small adjustments being made on a consistent basis. This is what will help you create extraordinary results over time. As we conclude this series, I'd like for you to remember, call this a quick recap. 1. Feedback is not your enemy. Never forget that. Feedback is not your enemy. Number 2, feedback is one of God's tools for growth. Yes, even God uses feedback to grow us. Number 3, feedback creates self-awareness. The things you are not aware of, the things that you can't see of yourself, those things that are in your blind spot, feedback helps you see them and become self-aware. Feedback strengthens families, it strengthens relationships. Feedback improves teams' effectiveness. And for us, as children of God, as Christians, feedback deepens our spiritual maturity. And so, whenever we embrace feedback with humility and wisdom, we will be positioning ourselves for greater impact, greater growth, and greater purpose. I would like to thank you so much for your time on this two-part series, The Feedback Factor. I hope I have been able to share one little thing that will help you to continue to grow in your purpose and empower that purpose. Thank you again for joining. I'll see you on our next podcast.